Hi, this is Mika with Leap Taken, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, law of attraction, manifesting, um, esoteric, and everything else in between. I almost forgot what I was going to say. Well, today's topic is about self-care. It's one of my favorite topics and one of the favorite things I like to do because I like pampering myself, but I also enjoy practicing witchcraft. So I'm going to infuse self-care with witchcraft. So the very first thing is self-rituals. Self-rituals are key. They're important. You should be doing them regardless if you're talking about self-care because as a witch, you need to recharge. Just like you charge your tools, you also need to recharge. A more recent self-care ritual that I did was on the full moon. I showered, I did my negativity, rinse off that I normally do when I'm in the shower. And then, because I was just so grateful that this happened this way, but the way the moon was set, I have big patio doors. It's pretty much the size of a wall. So it's a wall of window. So I was able to pull the blinds back and just let the moonlight bathe the room. And so I'm alone. I turned everything off in the room so it would be dark except for the moonlight streaming in. And I'm grateful for the amount of privacy that I have in my bedroom, so I'm able to do this. But I sat there and, I just sat alone in the room, bathed in the moonlight, and I just first grounded myself, relaxed in the moment, and from there, just waited to see if any messages were coming across. But I felt like I was releasing as well. So I was releasing any feelings I had as for anything that would fall into the negative category. Fear, worry, I'm wearing my shirt now, proud Air Force mom. My son's in the Air Force. There's always a little bit of anxiety and fear because my baby's not here. My grown man baby's not here. So, releasing that because I can't let that overtake me because it won't. If I do that, then I'm not going to be a very good mom because every time I talk to him, I'll be nagging. Also, it's not good for me because I'll be in a state of always worrying. That's not healthy. That's not good. So releasing that energy. Things around, there's certain things I want now. I want to do everything now. And I want all the things now. Because I'm seeing so many awesome things available. I just got this, we just got this house. And it's like I want to decorate and do everything, all the rooms at the same time. That's not going to happen. Not because I don't believe I can magically make it happen, but because realistically, I should not try to do that. One, I'll burn out. Two, that's a strain on resources. And we have other things that we'd like to do. So that means we don't do any of those other things and we only do that. And I don't really want that to happen either. So it's more or less just learning to balance myself out. So I was thinking of all these types of things, of how I want to release that type of energy as I bathe in the full moon. So that's a great self-care ritual because what it did for me was it released the things that made me feel heavy, weighed me down emotionally, spiritually. And that's a great act of self-care to release all that, right? The other thing is doing a love spell on yourself. Now, this is something I'll do. I'll do it from the simplest type of love spell where desirable, attractiveness, and it doesn't always have to be sexual, just to be more attractive for whatever, you're aiming for. But I've enchanted things, my perfumes, lotions, creams, as I put them on. I'm very much aware of the intent I put into those things to become more attractive, more desirable. So start there, those types of things. Then I build more into something a little more deeper, a love spell on myself so that I stay connected to my higher self. I honor her. I love her. I revere her. And more importantly, I trust her. So a love spell so that I am always in alignment with my higher self, my intuition, so that I'm in tune and I'm paying attention. So I'm not in a state of indecisiveness, anxiety, because my inner self already knows you don't need to do this or you don't need to concern yourself with that or don't go there. don't talk to them, or talk to them, go there because you'll feel better. My, a love spell so that I can always stay in line and in tune with me, with myself. So not necessarily a love spell to become attracted to someone else. This is strictly for me. This is an act of self-care. The other thing is I like to enchant my jewelry, enchant even my glasses, my eyeglasses, my everyday glasses. And the whole point of it is mostly anything falling under positivity. So for my glasses, I would put intention as, for obviously to help with my actual eyesight, but so that I can see, the truth, so that I can see what is not to be seen, what is hidden. And that could be ulterior motives. And it's not always, something nefarious, but sometimes people don't want you to know things for their own agenda, especially if you're working, they're probing, asking you questions, and they have their own agenda of why they're asking, and it might not be something for your greater good. So, if you wear glasses, maybe you want to, or even your contacts, put some intentional spell into them so that you can see beyond what is, being shown to you. And it just makes you a little bit more in tune on, Sally asked me all these questions. She asked me these questions because she thinks I'm going to apply for that job, that new job that came up. So she's just probing because she wants to apply. But, it just kind of gives you an idea. Instead of you just walking around thinking, oh, she's just being nice asking. No, she's trying to, minimize her competition. So maybe convince you not to apply. I'm just giving a wild example. Just go with it. But you get where I'm going, hopefully. As far as enchanting jewelry or, eyewear, even something you wear in your hair. The number one thing I'm going to do is for protection, especially the necklace I usually wear. Definitely, that one's definitely enchanted with protection. So I don't have it on right now. Doesn't mean I'm not protected. My whole home is protected. So. I'm good. But yeah, I typically, and I miss it now. I feel like I should go put it on. But yeah, that's definitely for protection. Whenever I wear that out, I'm very aware that I'm feeling protected. And I feel like it's emanating. By the way, that boosts the magic because I believe it. The other thing is spiritual baths. So, sip of water. Spiritual baths. Spiritual baths can be as elaborate as you want them to be. They can be as simple as you want them to be. If you were not a bath taker, it's not going to make sense for you to take a bath, or you don't actually have a bath. You can get jugs of water, like milk containers, or what the spring water comes in, and you can do your infusions with your herbs, oils, vinegars, whatever you're putting into your spiritual bath. Have a few of them ready. You can have one. If you just want one, you can do 1 to 3 or more, depending on what you're trying to do. Have fun with it, but you can use those also and just pour those over the top of your head. I belong to a couple different groups, virtual groups, where this topic came up, and someone says, I'm sorry, that's not really going to be as effective. That doesn't work. I saw quite a few people chime in and agree with it, and there were others who disagreed. Here's my thing. If I don't have any other options, if I physically can't get into a bath, which some of us can't, it's just not possible, or I don't own a bath, I'm not missing out on an opportunity to have this spiritual cleansing because I'm not sitting, because I'm standing. Come on, because I'm not soaking, but I have 5 jugs where I'm consistently drenching myself, so I'm still having the same effect. I disagree with that. I'm saying a spiritual bath would be a great act of self-care because it is taking, it's going beyond face masks and, spa days. It's taking it to another level of a spiritual cleanse, physically and inside spiritually. So I think those are great ways to do it. It's something you want to maybe do often, maybe once a month. It might be a lot to try to do that more than once a month, or at least every quarter. Depending on what's going on in your life and your spirit, and if you're feeling attacked psychically, if you're feeling magically influenced from a negative point of view, yeah, you might maybe want to do it a little more often until you get everything under control. And then it could just be, a check-in, something you do every couple weeks, like I said, once a month or every quarter. But I think it's a great act of self-care. The other thing is tonics and potions. So potions, I talk about water is my magic potion. And if you haven't already known, you can speak intent into your water as you drink it. So it becomes magic potion. So that's step one. Water is essential for living, so please drink water. Speak your intention into it, and that adds the magical element. Beyond that, you can create tonics. You can create potions that you use specifically for witchy self-care. So sleeping tonics, something that you take to help you sleep at night. First of all, sleep is a serious thing, and at the age I'm at, I don't play about my sleep. I try to keep the same sleep schedule. Sleep is important. It keeps you balanced. So a sleep tonic, if you need it, that is a great act of self-care. The process of making your tonics and your potions is also an act of self-care, because typically you have to be on a high frequency. You have to be vibing in a very positive way so that you can put the intention in, for when you don't feel that way at a later date. So that in itself is a great act of self-care. Just doing witchy things, making things, making magical potions and tonics and things like that. So that's another. And then journaling. I'm a big journaler. I talk about it all the time. Journaling can be anything from just writing down, a couple sentences, to drawing something, to handwriting emojis, getting stickers and using those. Whatever you want to do. You don't have to write a novel if you don't want to about yourself in your journal, but journaling is great for self-care. I talked about scripting before, at least I know I did on my blog at leaptaken.wordpress.com. And over there, I keep it very new agey, high level. I don't go specifically into witchy topics, but scripting, which is a technique for manifesting, is journaling. And also, I consider it self-care because I'm usually in a very positive state when I'm doing it. If it's something I'm trying to manifest into my life, I use scripting. So I have a specific notebook. I use a specific pen for the purpose. And I write my I am statements. If you're familiar with scripting, it's essentially, and if you're not, essentially I am statements. I am so grateful that I am enjoying this beautiful cruise that I'm on with my husband. We saved for this, or, we were able to without effort, book this cruise, and the money was there for it. And we have all the extra packages and all the little luxury treatments. We're having an opportunity to enjoy all those things. I've never seen my husband so happy, and I'm happy, and I'm wearing this bikini that I got, and all the weight that I lost to fit into this bikini is just makes me feel so proud, and I just feel so happy. I am 100% grateful that the universe provided this to me. And, it could go on. And I just, went off of that or something like that. The more detail, the better when you're scripting. So you want to talk about, you got the money to go, that you bought the extra little packages that come with cruises, that you were able to fit into the bikini that you wanted. Add those details, and that's great. It paints the picture in your head, and you're presenting it into the universe as well. This is great for this is a good type of journaling for self-care, because if you're feeling some things you want to bring into your life and it's not there yet and you're kind of down about it, do scripting. Great way to kind of put yourself there, and you feel good. When you walk away, you're not feeling like, oh, but this is really not happening yet. No, you're like, no, this is going to happen because I could already see myself in it. I already see how this is going to work. So this is going to have to happen. This is happening. So at least that's how I feel about it. Hopefully you will too. And the last thing, which is something I do on a regular basis, is communing with spirit. Now, when I say spirit, I mean overall spirit, I think in the way most of us refer to it. But for the purpose of this conversation, spirit is going to be all-encompassing. Ancestors, your deity, any angels, if, that's your thing. So we'll just say spirit. So communing with spirit is helpful because if you struggle with making decisions, if you struggle with anxiety around making decisions, communing with spirit can over time is a great way to resolve that. It's a great way to get you more balanced and in line, because after some time, if you keep going and keep checking in and keep communing with spirit about every little life's qualm and issue, at least my ancestors, they will come back with, you already know the answer. Now, that doesn't send me, in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, this sent me into a bit of a mental tailspin, like, what answer? I don't know what to do. But as time goes on, I trust my higher self. Remember those love spells I was talking about? Getting in tune with your higher self, your intuition. Your intuition does know what to do. You don't always want to be in line with it because it might not be what you think you want to do. But sometimes the ancestors will tell you, your higher self knows the way. You don't need us, or spirit will tell us, you don't need us. You need us. Just, do what your first mind is telling you to do, because that's what you should do. That was your gut reaction to whatever the situation was. Just follow through with it. Or they won't tell you an answer at all. You have no choice but to rely on your higher self, because that's a lesson you need to learn. But over time, for me, it's helped me to trust my gut or my intuition. It's helped me to understand that I don't need to constantly ask someone what direction I should go in or run this by them just to make sure I'm on the right path. I do that still sometimes with certain things, but there was a time in my life I would have done that with almost every little decision. It's not necessary. I trust, my higher self, my intuition. I trust myself to make a decision. And if I'm finding that things aren't working out as I thought they were, learn why, learn the lessons, and move forward. Was that a lesson I needed to even go through? Maybe I needed to go through that. And at that point, I would commune with my spirit or ancestors to find out what's going on here. What do you want me to know? What am I supposed to learn from here? Give me some direction at this point, because now I don't know. But it helps overall. Communing with spirit is great for balancing, learning to balance, and which is a great act of self-care, is finding balance, being aligned with your desires and what you want for your life, and having those discussions, spiritual discussions, is a great way to stay aligned, because they typically are going to tell you the truth. They're not telling you what you want to hear all the time, and it forces you to look at yourself, and after a while you begin to balance yourself out. So that's why I consider that an act of self-care. So those are all my items that I had for witchcraft for self-care. I most of the things that I've talked about, I've done all of them. The spiritual bath is something I'm planning on doing. So that's why I was really an advocate for doing the pour over, because that's something I'm going to be doing by the end of the year. That was something I'm planning. It's a ritual I want to plan for myself, for the purpose of just doing a cleansing, letting go of 2019, going into 2020. I've been playing around with different rituals to do for myself to kind of add a little more oomph, a little more witchy oomph to, I guess, the traditional holidays like New Year's. So that would be something I'll be doing, a spiritual bath, to sort of cleanse of all that was and prepare myself for the new. So I'll, talk about that down the road. We have months to go. We haven't even gotten to Halloween yet. But I think ahead because I'm someone who plans all the time because I have 50 million planners. I got one right here in front of me. I have all these planners, so dates are important to me. So I'm constantly thinking on how to fill in those dates and different witchy things I can do. So anyway, that's everything else that, yeah, I do all those things. That is something I do. Do I do them every day? No. Practicing, well, except for the coffee, tea, in the mornings, I speak my positive intentions. That's an easy thing to do, though. Even if you don't drink coffee or tea, if you just, get your first drink you have for the day, water or whatever it is, you can do the same thing. So, speak the positive intentions before you take a sip, and just try to make a point to do that every day, and it just becomes second nature. But that's all I got on this subject. Thank you for watching. My name is Mika. This is Leap Taken. If you like the video, please like the video. And if you haven't already subscribed, it'd be awesome if you did. And thank you for watching.